Look, you can disregard what I'm telling you, but do so at your own risk. Because, believe me, the chips are in everything. Smaller than fly specks, beyond taken for granted. Chips inside you that know you, help you, tell on you. Chips that talk to you. They talk to everyone right through your InVision. It's all there. Every detail of every deed you've ever done. Every video, photo, chat, email, comment, scribble, letter, contract, confession, slander, rant, speech, plan, your prescriptions, drugs, and drug tests. It's all there, all public. Doubt it? I'll show you. Pick up anything. There's a chip inside. Take that sock over there. Yes, that one. The one hanging out of the dumpster. Pick it up. Go on. It won't bite you. It's only a sock. Yes. There you go. Now, scan it, and there you have it. Price, style, size, maker, seller. It even has your consumer ID, your consumer preferences, favorite music, politics, your sexual preference, sex partners, even your sexual performance. It's all right there. You got it. In fact, everyone's got it. Right there on InVision. Everything. Down to your last heartbeat. There's a life story in the chip in that sock. Are you curious? Yes? Well, just press continue. Sleeping in my snug little room, I am watched. And now awake, surveillance confirms that I'm here. There's security in a system that keeps tabs on you even while you're sleeping, and that's the good news. But the bad news is my status light is blinking yellow again. Through my InVision, I ask, "Helper?" The oversaturated image of the avatar replies, "What?" I say, "Recognize me." He asks, "Who?" "Me. Recognize me." My status turns green. Helper says, "Sorry, Vinny." I dismiss Helper. I had that dream again. The one where they're peeling my skin. I asked them, "How much are you going to take?" And they said, "How much do you have?" Now, all day long I check to see if I'm still all here. It's ridiculous. People don't lose their skin. But they could. And if they could, I could. And who'd ever know? What if it happened when I was alone, like in the movies? But this isn't a horror story, it's just my life. And of course, I can always count on surveillance. It's all around us. But what good is surveillance? Just because I'm being watched, that doesn't mean anyone is looking. And if no one is looking, what's the good of it? Someone should be looking. Someone should be looking out for me all the time. I can surveil myself. I can use surveillance like a diary. Why not? It must be good for something. I will. This way, if anything actually happens, I'll just set this to recording. For the record, my temp name is Vanilla, like ice cream. InVision recognizes me as Vanilla, Mr. Vanilla, Vinny, Vin, or whatever, as long as my bio-identity is recognized. That's what counts. My bio-ID. Beyond that, I can change my temp name whenever I want. After all, what's in a name? Vanilla casts me in the image of neither this or that. And that feels just about right to me. Hey, it's a dangerous world for people who don't blend in. Look too different, talk too different. Before you know it, you're going to get noticed. To be seen. Now, that is okay. But to be noticed, that is definitely not okay. The trick is to be recognized for who you're supposed to be. No more, no less. It's not easy, because really, who am I anyway? Who is anyone? So, here I am, vanilla, your basic, non-flavored kind of guy, plain as plain can be. I'm a video game artist, and my work is all about splitting hairs, because in this line, detail is everything. Hey, check this out. Helper, show Hammerman. The blast visor rises, the cold stare under the massive brow. Khaki shirt sleeves roll tight to the armpits. Tattoo of a shrunken head on that ham-hock biceps. The tattoo? A cliché, you say? Hardly. Examine her shriveled head, and keep in mind that once upon a time, this was an honest-to-God, for-real woman. Zoom in on her dainty eyelashes. See how they form a fringe along the pits where her eyes used to be. The tiniest hair, even in death, each hair still growing. Whoa, that's reality if there ever was reality. I want you to know there's not one hair on her head I didn't put there personally. That's purpose. That's control. Whoops, that eye hole winked again. I thought I fixed that. Helper, make a note. Check skewing error. No, make that check all skewing errors. But this work is far deeper than just appearance, because it's what's inside Hammerman Blood Warrior that makes him this one-of-a-kind Wonder Man. Look in his eyes. Look deep. You can almost tell what he's thinking, but not quite. And that's the art of it, the ambiguity. To get down to that level, I had to imagine his soul. Talk about dark. I had to ask myself, what could possess a man to adorn himself with such an emblem as that tattoo? I knew if I could answer that question, I'd have the key to a real killer hero. I thought long and hard on that, and when it came to me, it was so simple. Hey, this guy is evil. I mean, real evil. And you know, they proved me dead nuts right, because that's exactly what they said. Wow, he is really evil. And I don't just mean good evil, but evil in the very best sense of the word. How evil? Well, let's just say he's a work in progress. Now, let's go on to something else. Helper, show my family album. Notice how prettily the white silk bow releases the cover of the simulated leather-bound book. That's my family nestled in the decoration of rosewood and gold. Mom and Sis, seated in front. Behind, poor short Dad, and me with my arm on his shoulder. Why does Mom always have to sneer like that? Casting a shadow wherever she looks. And mumbling Sis, forever chatting up her envisioned girlfriends. Anyway, these are my people. Hey, Dad, Say a few words for my surveillance diary. Well, yeah. Hey, sure, okay. So you know, Vin, you're numero uno in my book, my main man. Dad needs a lot of reassuring, and I tell him, hey, you bet. And he says, yeah, me and Vin, real buds, best friends. Huh, Vinny? The very best. Share and share alike? You bet. He says, I know I can always count on you, son. And about that loan, I've been meaning to, like I tell everybody, you know, I can always count on Vinny. Thanks, Dad. Now, Mom, say something for my diary. She adjusts herself like a lineman waiting for the snap and says, you know, it's a miracle we're even here. Why, if it wasn't for you, Vinny, there's no telling where we'd be. Looking around, she says, I can't say that I'm thrilled about this place you've got us living in, but beggars can't be choosers. If I had to depend on your father for a living, Lord knows I've tried. Oh, how I've tried. Okay, Mom, that's enough. Now, Sis likes feeling good, and nothing makes her feel better than having a bevy of her star-framed sisters listening to her woes on InVision. I'll try to get her attention. Hey, and it's not like I hadn't already told him, you can do that all you want and see if I even care, but if he thinks I'm going to put up with that, he better think again, because that doesn't go down with me, man, when I can chat up another guy quicker than swatting a fly and not even give it a second thought as though I even care what he thinks anyhow, and even if he wanted to make up, I mean, why should I, the way he's been fooling around and everybody talking about me and all, even to strangers who don't even know me, and even if they did, so what's the difference anyway, huh? Sis? Something for my diary? Sis, please? No? Are you feeling a little shy? Well, maybe later. Anyway, that's my family. They're the only family I've got. And then there's Ice. Oh, Ice, my Sig one. Helper, bring up that photo of Ice. Whoa, just look at her. Oh, man. Her face, her skin. Isn't she incredible? And smart? The smartest person I know. She has to be. The kind of work she does, with social diseases and all, chromosomes, turning things off and on like Christmas tree lights, peptides, enzymes, gene markers, you name it. With what that woman knows, she can turn an Ethiopian into an Eskimo quicker than you can say, how about that? Absolutely amazing. Oh, but she can be difficult. And sometimes I have to wonder. Here, take for example, Helper, run that video of us from the other night. I mean, here we are, sitting down to dinner at the food slot, the better burgers, piping hot, sliding onto the table. Then she starts with that look of disgust, just picking at her fries. So I know something's coming. And then she picks up one and says, there isn't even any potato in this French fry. And I say, hey, that's pretty remarkable when you come to think about it. And she says, they make the potato stuff out of corn. Everything is made of corn. Not wanting to be a partner in her negativity, I tell her, hey, you know, I can't even tell the difference. Oh, but now she's on a roll and tells me, that's the point, Vinny. That's the whole point. So there's another dinner ruined. But it wasn't always like this. Not the first time, anyway. Helper, play park surveillance of that first time. So, there we are, nose to nose, not more than 20 minutes after we met. And you can see how I have her there, right up against the tree, and it's like she's going for it, you know? But at the same time, she isn't. Anyway, I have her with her big blue eyes wide open, like she's way off in the distance somewhere. And the feeling, imagine the feeling. The woman is stone cold, outside and in. Her skin pale and dry and perfect like marble. And the way she's staring at me, like I'm less than nothing, or maybe I'm everything. I don't know. I can't explain what that stare is doing to me. Anyway, she sure lit my fuse, so bang! I'm in total collapse, my head on her chest, and her hardly even breathing, like a corpse or something. I raised my head to look at her. Oh, what a face! Alabaster, glacier blue white, frozen, timeless. Not even virtual skin can compare. I couldn't get enough of just looking at her, and all the time, she's looking right through me, like she was staring all the way to the end of the universe. So, then she asks me, "How do you feel about that, Vinny?" Well, I gotta tell you, that really caught me off guard, because what kind of question was that supposed to be? We hardly even knew each other. So I tell her, "Okay, I feel okay." And she says, "And me, Vinny? How do you feel about me?" And I say, "You? I don't know. You? You're kind of, well, wow, you know what I mean?" And she says, "No, I don't know what you mean." And I say, "Hey, well, I guess you're cool." And she says, "No, I'm not cool." So now I don't know what to say. So I say, "You're not?" And she says, "No, I'm not cool." I say, "You're not?" And then she doesn't say anything for what seems like forever. And I'm waiting, and we're just standing there, my heart still pounding like a jackhammer. And then just her lips say, "I'm frigid." Well, I gotta tell you, the way she said that, that was really cold. Knife in the kidneys cold. Whoa. And I say, "Yeah, you really are frigid." And then she takes my head in both hands, and she's covering my face with kisses, like she just can't get enough of me, like I'm the first guy that ever got the point. Next thing I know, she goes and changes her temp name to Ice. Go figure. But it's not like that anymore. Things sure can change. Helper, play that video from last night. So, there we are, sharing our bed, her feet to my head, each of us alone as alone can be. Me staring at the ceiling, and her, I'm watching her on surveillance, her head hanging off the foot of the bed, making that sigh she sighs all the time as she selects a porn novel from the InVision pick list. The quickest lust of all, which brings up this hot Latin couple sitting in a restaurant across the table from one another. The woman in low-cut scarlet unleashes her fury on this hairy-chested goon in a leather vest. "How dare you look at her that way?" says the little hottie as Senor Macho raises one eyebrow. In a flash, her nails fly across the table, slashing his cheek. Nearby diners gasp as he flings his chair away. Now, looming over her, he says, "Do you know what I'm going to do to you?" I'm thinking, hey, This is getting pretty hot. But Ice just yawns. Clearly she's not going for it, so I say, "Hey, remember that old favorite we used to do?" She shakes her head. "No, really," I tell her. "I'll surprise you, you'll see. Helper, pull up, Inya." The sex helper on InVision says, "Nice to see you again, Vinny. Who do you want to play with this evening? Let's see. Your recent selections have been ice and ice. And let's see. Ice. Now isn't that unusual? All of your recent play pals have been ice. Wouldn't you like to play with someone else for a change?" I tell Helper, "No, just ice. Just me and ice." Helper says, "Select a style. Het males, het femmes, bisexuals, gay males, lesbians, trans males, trans femmes, geeks, creeps, freaks, animals, mix and match, or other." I select other. "How do you like it? Traditional, oral, anal, equipped, texture, snuff, mix and match, or invent your own?" I tell Helper, "We're feeling inventive." Our InVisions are linked, and I morph into a vampire. Fangs emerge. I press my cheek to the nape of her neck, and I'm wondering, why is it always so difficult for Ice to get into this? I try to reassure her. I'll be gentle. Then, ever so lovingly, I slip a fang into her jugular. A chain of crimson beads yields to the pull of gravity. This is so sexy. And then she asks me, "How do you feel about this, Vinny?" And I say, "What?" "I mean what we're doing." "What are we doing?" "You're sticking a fang in my neck. How do you feel about that?" Tell her, "I don't know. Your neck is soft. Your flesh is soft." "Not on the outside, Vinny. How do you feel inside?" Oh, ma'am, this is getting difficult. I tell her, "I don't know." "What do you mean you don't know?" Oh, man. She has this way of exhaling. It's how you would spell the word exasperated without an alphabet. Then she says, "Look, Vinny, if sex is too difficult to talk about, tell me how you feel about anything. There must be something you feel something about." I tell her, "I have trouble sleeping." "I know that," she says. "I have dreams." Everybody has dreams. Boy, she just won't let it alone. I confess to her, "I'm afraid." She wants to know, "What are you afraid of?" "You really want to know?" "Yes, I do." "Well, there are lots of things. They're just not the kinds of things people talk about. Not the kinds of things a SIG one can be proud of. It's just that I'm afraid I could disappear. From you, from everything, from my life. Half the time, my InVision is iffy. Helper doesn't recognize me. I mean, suppose, just suppose, what if I lose my InVision? It happens. Without InVision, who am I? Who is anybody? And lose your bio ID? There goes your InVision. What if I have bid poison? You know what happens to people when they get bid poison? They're nobody. They're trash. We see people like that all over the place. But you know what? No one ever talks about it." She says, "Don't be ridiculous. Bid poison is history. It was eradicated before you were even born." Well, maybe it was, and maybe it wasn't. You know, people still talk about bid poison. You hear rumors. For all I know, people still get infected. In fact, I could be infected right now. I can hear my voice pleading. But you can help me. Diseases are your business. You can find out. I know you can. Will you? Will you look into it for me? I'm begging you. Will you? Please? You know, there's a soft side to ice. Sometimes she can be even sympathetic. She puts her fingers to my cheek and says, "Yes, I will." I tell her, "You ask me how I feel. Well, I'll tell you, right now, just knowing you'll do this, I feel a whole lot better. So now, can I count on that? Can I count on you?" Uh-oh, I shouldn't have said that. She smears the drops of blood on her neck with her thumb, and with the same disdain she had for the French fry, she says, "You're asking if you can count on me?" I tell her, "Well, sure, I mean, if it was the other way around." And she just laughs. Oh, I hate it when she laughs like that. Me? Count on you? You've got to be kidding. Anyway, that's my ice.